Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. As you see on the screen, I have a beautiful guest that's coming on. She is from the UK. I've been going international over the last couple of weeks. One was from Sweden. This one is from London. She has been a guest on my show before. I think it was back in November. But anyway, let me do a couple of things. Okay. And let me get this straight. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday with us. Um, Thank you. Listen, I normally have the phone away from me. This time I'm going to keep it near because evidently people from Monday's show was trying to reach me out that like there was no sound, which I was not aware. I was so busy just into the rhythm of it that I wasn't quite aware. So anyway, the point is that if there's anything about sound or anything like that, please let me know. And before I get started, I want to let you know that today's show is being sponsored by the Sisters of the Traveling Spread. So go to stshealing.com. That's stshealing.com to sign up. We're getting closer to the deadline. So I know some of us wait to the last minute. I've been guilty of it many times myself. But at this point, if you can, please do it as soon as possible. Time is of the essence now. So go to stshealing.com where you see Nina Diamond, Aquarius Maximus, Jazz Aphrodite, King Simon, and of course myself. We will all be present there in New Orleans on the 17th, 18th, 19th of August. All righty. So I think that would be good. And before I bring on my guest, let me tell you about today's cosmic forecast. It is Wednesday, July the 5th. The sun is in Cancer. It was a full moon on Monday, but now the moon is in the sign of Aquarius. It's a 5 universal month. It's a 6 universal week, a 1 universal day. So if you happen to be a Leo, Aquarius, Aries, Gemini, Virgo, or if you're born on the 1st, the 5th, the 10th, the 14th, the 19th, 23rd, or 28th, this should be a favorable day for you in some way. You know, it's so interesting, the power of a change of a name. When I had this beautiful guest on in November, she was known as Amenet, and you see the power of the spelling. So what she did was she consulted Jazz Aphrodite or Jackie Levine, who wrote this book that's going to be really a seller, Numbers Decoded, Cards Unfolded. And when you look at the name, now she's born on the 11th of November. That's all I'm going to tell you. And born on the 11th of November, her numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. Now, although Amenta, the way she has it, or Amenet, excuse me, Amenet, although she has it written as spelled this way, it has the 16th, which is considered a rather karmic number. And 16 represents disasters, upheavals, accidents, earthquakes. I'm actually taking this from Jazz Aphrodite's book of what these, because when you get past 9, each number past that has its own meaning. Explosions is the most damaging frequency, bringing ruin and danger. 16 brings tests in love relationships and marriage. When it's the birthday number, it cautions against strange casualties. The high vibration of 16 is honesty, integrity, and forgiveness, giving glory to the righteous. However, it's most inclined to prevail on the lower vibration because its evil is strong. Well, after consulting Jazz Aphrodite or Jackie Levine, she came out with Amenet that still sounds the same, but spelled totally, totally different. And as you can see, she went from 1 5 to 3 5s. She still has 2 4s. She has a 1, but the 5s increase, but it adds to 24. Now, this is a different vibe from the 16, 7. 24 is considered a lucky number. 24 receives blessings from the opposite sex and influential women. 24 cautions against falls from horses, jet skis, bikes, motor scooters. 24 gets help from people in high ranking posts and fame. So other than that, you just need to be a little cautious if you get it. Well, I tell people born on a 24 or in a 24 in their name that if you're riding horses, motorcycles, whatever, make sure you have a helmet on. In New York City, a lot of people want to just do it their way. Sometimes it's not good. That's all I can tell you. So without further ado, I want to bring on my guest, Amenet. How are you, young lady? How's everything?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Hi, everyone.
Now, you know what's interesting. Before we went on, we talked about in the culture there is importance about the significance of the change of name. So let's go back. I kind of moved everything up front, which is I
Yes.
put the power of the change of your name was at that time when you came on in November. Now this,
Yes.
what
I mean,
happened between now and then? Can you explain?
yeah, I mean, just a little background about myself for people who are not aware. I am from the UK. I was born here, but originally I'm from Nigeria because that's where my parents are from. I was just born here and I was raised there. Partially, also grew up partially and schooled in the US. So I practice the indigenous tradition of West Africa, which is the Orisha tradition, and some people know it as Ishe. Some other people may know it as Ifa because Ifa is really the oracle system. It's very similar to the numerology system, whereas it's based on the numbers 1 through 16, and
Yep.
each of the
Yep.
numbers is attached to a book of, ancient knowledge. So some people call our tradition Ifa, but Ifa is really the oracle system in and of itself in that tradition, that the tradition is more vast. So in that tradition that we're talking about, which I am a part of, which I practice, the main tenets, like I was telling you, back in the ancient times, when a child is born, the oracle of Ifa or the other 16 cowrie oracle is consulted by the diviner to check what name, because in our tradition, we believe that you pick when you are spirit, your Ori, your spiritual head picked the name that you wanted to be called when you manifested in the physical body that you have. To access that knowledge, which is the same as numerology, you check the oracle, and then the name is revealed, and that's the name that child is called. Now obviously, because of everything that's happened, his historical upheavals, a lot of us have lost that tradition. So
Sure.
even if you didn't have access to that, people that have initiated into Orisha can, to testify to this. When you do initiate, when you do reconnect, and initiation just means realigning your spiritual head with your soul, going back to the way things were. A name comes out of that ceremony. Your spiritual name is either given to you in a dream, which has happened to me twice because I've been through
Mhm.
several initiation, or there's a more technical aspect where the oracle is asked again, what name does Lloyd want to be called, since he's a initiate of, I would say, Shango or issue for you, and then the name will come out, and there's a vibration attached to that. So back to when I did the consultation with Jazz, I was telling her, because I'm so used to my name, that's like my given name, the family name, and Aminat is the original spelling is actually an Arabic name, and I often
Uh-huh.
have, yeah, it's actually an Arabic name. It means trust, and I often have some pushback from people, from the purists in my tradition, saying, well, you're still carrying your Arabic name. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm saying when people say you're
Yeah,
still
yeah,
carrying this
definitely.
name. Why are you? And so I'm like, I don't, a name is a name, and I was kind of like reluctant to use my spiritual name. So when I had that consultation with Jazz, she actually broke it down for me. When I saw the numbers, I was like, okay, this is something. So yeah, so
And the
that's
numbers
what
are
led us
different.
to where we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because 16 is definitely one of the major comic numbers of all the comic numbers you can get.
Wow.
Okay. There's several of them, but like 13 and 14. But when it comes to 16, it's like, oh boy. So they alter the spelling of it. And so what's interesting, because in a way, because from your birthday, born on the 11th of November, your key numbers anyway are the 2, 7, and 6. So
Wow.
ideally, and you know what's interesting? Normally, the name that we're given normally matches either the zodiac sign or date of birth of the parents. So in
Mm-hmm.
that case, Amanat, as you were given originally, that would represent that one of your parents could have been a Cancer, a Cancerian or a Pisces, or born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 24th, or the 29th of the month. So just quickly, what was the zodiac sign of your mom and dad, or their date of birth?
My dad was an Aries, and he was born on the 4th, and my mom is Sagittarius, and she was born on the 14th of
Uh-huh.
December. So they're
Okay,
both
now,
fire signs, but I don't know their charts, you know,
but that's okay.
whatnot.
So now with this name, Amenet, as we have now before us, that adds a 24, which is a 6. So this name will draw to you more Tauruses, more Librans, and people born on the 6th, the 15th, and the 24th of the month. And since 6 is one of your numbers anyway, it will bring out the more attractions of people. It is very magnetic in its energies and things like that. So you should see, normally it takes about several months. It all depends on how frequently you
Yeah,
use your name. You know, if you only use your name every once in a while and you only come out once a month, you know, it
yeah,
doesn't take the vibe. But the more you're out and about and the more you project this name, the
yes.
more it sets the frequency of
Yeah,
the name into
because it
motion.
was interesting that 16, and this is the part that I want to research because I really want to go deeply into the numerology to merge it with my tradition, because that 16 with Amenat, the attributes that Jazz actually that is described in the numerology book, and what you just karmic debts, and she was talking about, whenever that name signifies owing karmic debts, even from past lifetime. What's really interesting, and what me and Jazz, I wanted to go deep with her in this, is that even in on my side, on the West African side, when I consulted with the Oracle, they told me to stop borrowing money to people, because guess what? When I borrow money to people, I never get it back. I'm talking about from the US to Nigeria. I'm literally, I don't know what it is with me and money. And it got so bad that the Oracle had to tell me, okay, if you want to give money to people, go ahead and give it to them. But you and borrowing money, that does not work. So it's either
So in
you
other words,
stop.
you're giving money to other people, they don't
Yeah,
give it
I'm
back.
not
They
getting it
forget to
back.
give
So
it
I'm
back.
wondering, am I paying? Yeah. So that karmic debt thing with that 16 and that, I mean, it was there because I experienced it. And 16 on our side is a very powerful number because that's the number of the physical divination system in West Africa.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
but to link it with that money, because I love this, is that when you throw the shells, when you throw Ifa, people that have done it will attest to this. There is money attached to it. You're supposed to put money down for the to access. It's just like it's like you're paying the gatekeeper to access, spirit. People will say, oh, it's too money oriented, but that's just the way it is. You have to put, even if it's the dollar, you have to put it down because that energy is attached. And then also when the messages comes out of the oracle, there are rituals and remedies that are attached that cost money
Interesting,
as well. So
interesting.
that number 16, so I'm going to do some deep research on that to see how that,
Well,
because
I'd love to be of
that's
help
what
because numbers
convinced
is
me.
my thing,
Yeah,
and I like to
I
go
know.
down the rabbit hole when it
I
comes to
know.
numbers. So we'll
Me too.
do that together. That should be fun. And what we're going to do, folks, is this: she is going to be pulling her cards for all of the viewers that come on today. All righty, you see, she's got them, and you developed those cards yourself. I remember you gave us a brief history about how you developed
Yeah,
them, how you worked on them, and
I
created.
designed, yeah, I designed a card because it's connected to what we were just discussing, the spirited discussions we just had about numerology, because I'm very much interested. It's funny because my whole family, my mom, the Sagittarian, born on the 14th, she has always been, I've always been surrounded by, like, you're behind you, the books behind you is how I grew up. That's what I grew up around. My grandfather and my mom were into astrology way back in Nigeria. My grandfather was one of the, he used to look at the stars with a telescope. So I've always been
Wow.
yeah. My grandfather has always been around me, right? Like Western quote unquote mysticism. I've always been interested in numerology, astrology, tarot or oracle deck, that crystals, talking about energy,
Those are all the
Reiki.
things I've studied. Those are all of it:
Right,
astrology,
right.
numerology, palmistry,
Of course,
all of
of
it,
course,
all of
I
it,
love that
all of
stuff.
it.
I could talk about it all day. So, but when I went back into my own culture, I always, like, I had this compartmentalization, like Western spiritualism, everything you just said you studied is over here, my culture is over here. But when I went back into it with new eyes, I started seeing links, like what we just discussed about the 616. I literally, my brain started to make the connection. I'm like, wait a minute, there's a link here. And I started seeing links. And then I said, one thing I love are physical oracle, tools like decks, tarot. I own several tarots. I love the whole system. So I said, okay, no one has created anything related to the divine feminine in my culture as it relates to, cards.
Interesting.
They have
Interesting.
Orisha. There are
Interesting.
people who created Orisha Tarot, Orisha decks, but I said when it comes to the original mythology that comes from West Africa related to the divine feminine that's never been created, how about if I created it? And it just started like to 10 years ago as an idea. And as COVID happened, everything that I needed, I don't know what was going on in those 3 years, but it's literally just fell into place. I found the artist, I
I
designed
remember
everything.
when
It's
you
my
was
design.
explaining it,
Yeah,
and
it
maybe we could go
just fell
into it
into
later,
place.
but I mean just the whole story of how the whole concept came
Synchronicity.
together,
Yeah.
how the people that came together from the artists and whatnot. And I'm blessed to have one of your unique decks in
Yeah.
my collection. Okay,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
is
So
good.
that's how that came about. It's like my love for all the books behind you, that world, what I call Western spiritualism, and obviously coming from my culture and having that passion of I just love decks. I love oracle tools. I just so I said I'm gonna find a way to combine both. And but I wanted the information to be authentic. I wanted everything I wrote in the guidebook to come from the real practitioners from back home. So most of the faces that you will see, like the one behind me, are real practitioners of the deity that I'm depicting that are back home in
But that
Nigeria, and
makes
I've
sense.
gotten the information. Yeah, and it's so the vibration, like Jazz has the deck and she uses it, and she can attest to how the vibration is really, really, it's there,
No,
it's
I have
there,
the deck too.
it's there.
I mean, it's just like one of my value collections among many collections I have, but that is of value, especially when it comes to
Yeah.
tarot decks, because I have about maybe 12 different tarot decks, from the weight deck to the Nordic deck to your deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. Anyway, let's deal with our first person. Now, you said that even they can either ask the question. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
they can ask a question. Hmm.
Now, what
They can ask
happens?
a
We have a
question.
Okay, like, can you
Yeah.
see at the bottom of the screen? We have in Lent one, peace and blessings, everyone. She just gave a birthday,
Yeah.
9/25. She's in fact, her numbers are the 7, 2, and 6, which is
Wow.
interesting. The same as
Okay.
yours in a different
Do you
order.
know how I think we should do this? I think I should just do the cards and you should do the numbers part, which I'm pretty sure
Okay,
that's what you had
good.
in mind.
Now I'm gonna make
But
mine
if you
short,
can say
sweet.
the name for me, because I can't see very well, because my screen, I don't know if my glasses are
Okay,
not.
it's
So her name is,
NLYTEND, in Lent one. That is
okay.
her name. And she says, bless, peace and blessings. She is born September the 25th of
The next one.
1967. So she
Okay.
is a Libra 7 person. That means her key numbers are the 7, 2, and 6. It means
Mm-hmm.
that this particular year for her, she's in a 5 personal year. So she's at the midway point in her 9-year journey. She said she was born at 6:35. I don't know whether it's in the AM or 6:35 in the PM. But if it's 6:35 in the PM, that means somewhere around about the 6th or 7th house. But if
Okay.
it's in the morning, that means somewhere about in the 12th house, in the house of Pisces. So what's safe for you with the card you came up with for her? Hold on,
So
let
it's
me
interesting.
go
I
ahead.
got the Oshimari for her, and this is the last card in my deck, and this is connected to the number 44. and
Interesting.
and and you know about the number for 44, and this card speaks about boundaries. You have to really work on protecting your energy. You have to work on prioritizing your health first. I don't know if it's overworking. I don't know if it's giving too much of your energy to people, but there is a message here saying that self-care is really, really, really important right now, especially as it pertains to health. And your health is connected to the energy that you give out. So there's a necessity for you to create boundaries, like really strong boundaries around you.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Those cards are beautifully designed. I could look at those
Yeah.
cards all day. It's like, how'd you do this?
Mm-hmm.
The next
Mm-hmm.
one Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one we have is T Love. They says blessings.
T
And
love. Okay.
so their birthday is November the 3rd. They are a Scorpio like you, except they are a water sign with a fire number. And that means that they would be very passionate and yet very sensitive about things,
Yeah.
very intuitive, very creative, very expressive. And they happen to be in a 3 personal year, which means since their personal year is matching their date of birth, which is a 3, this is an excellent time for them to expand their horizons, expand their
Yeah.
network, and things of that nature. And their most important numbers are the 3, 9, and 6, while Thursdays, Tuesdays, and Fridays are their best days. So, what say you about them?
Yeah, it's funny you talk about passion because this is my probably, I don't know which favorites. When you say favorite, when I try to pick favorites, it's hard, but this is one of my favorites. This is not only my favorite card, but they're actually two of my favorite characters in the Orisha pantheon. This is Shango and Oya. For people who know, you know. There's
Yes,
no introduction
exactly.
not necessary. So you said passionate. This is the ultimate divine feminine and the divine masculine. This is the ultimate combination of that yin and yang. It could represent those two energies in you. See, love, the fact that you do need to merge it, but it also could represent a significant other, like a relationship that you have that is off and on, but you guys are karmically bound. You guys are karmically bound. So it's a very, because that's Oya and that's Shango. She's water and fire, and he's also water and fire.
That's
So like you're
interesting. And
saying,
that is the
very
combination of this
passionate.
birthday, too. That, I
That's
mean,
the
that's so
combination.
fitting.
The birthday, yeah. So fitting. So that's Shango and Oya for you. That's one of my
Interesting.
favorite cards. So
And actually, you are a combination because although they add up, they say 11 is the 2, it's considered a master number because it's composed of 2 ones, which are fire numbers. So you too would
hmm
be a water sign with a fire energy according to the birthday born on 11/11. Now,
which
this
makes
is
sense. My personality, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, and this
Two
is a
flight girl.
two fly girl. Her birthday is 8/8/1966. She was born at 11:36 a.m., which means hers was probably in the 12th house. No, the
hmm
first second. So, no, that would be one, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be up at the top, which is about at nearly the 12 o'clock hour, which would be in um, the 10th house, I believe, if memory serves me correct. Anyway, it tells me she's an
I'm trying to
old
look at the
soul, an
chat.
old spirit. She's fire and
Yeah.
earth. Those are the elements that govern her. And I know in the Yoruba religion, they also deal a lot with the elements in nature too. Like in
Oh yeah.
Asia,
hmm
Chinese astrology, they deal a lot with the elements. So if you're a monkey or whatever tiger, you could be a wood monkey or a water tiger or something of that nature. But in this case, she's fire and earth, which means she's passionate yet practical as well. And she's always exhibited maturity beyond her years, and her key numbers are the 8, 1, and 4. And her best
hmm
days are always on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So, what say you about her? I mean,
The Oyela Eureka card flew out for to fly girl, and it speaks of transformation. It speaks of a person really going into through a deep transformation. When the butterfly, what I was trying to capture here, in West Africa we have a saying called Oyela. Oyela is like an incantation for the mist to lift. Like you're willing, you are telling the darkness in your mind, or the cloudiness, as it were, in your mind and in your life, to just lift away, because you have the power of the word. So that's a word that practitioners would say, oh yeah, like just let me have clarity. So I was trying to depict that, and I used a butterfly as an example. You know how the butterfly is going through the metamorphosis,
yes,
and
yes, yes,
she or
yes.
he's coming out, and they're seeing themselves. So this butterfly walks to the banks of the river, and she looks over, and then she sees herself for the first time, and she said, ah, Eureka, there I am. So this card really speaks of mental miss, like clarity, having clarity, having that moment of saying, I am here. So that she's going through, so Two Fly Girl is going through a deep transformation right now. That is
Yes.
good.
And speaking of a deep transformation, you designed these cards, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I would say
I
you're
designed
rather
it.
deep
I
also.
designed them.
Okay. That's all
Thank
I'm
you.
saying. I just wanted to give you your props. You kind of deep yourself. Okay. So let's be
We
clear.
try.
Okay.
We try.
By the way, I
And
do
it's so
want to,
funny. Look at what's at the bottom of the deck. Sorry, but this card, you guys, reminds me of Baba Lloyd so much. This is Eshu. Many of you know. I don't know. He just reminds me of. If he even looks like him, and this is my friend. This is a real Eshu priest. He just looks like,
and who
I don't
does it
know,
look like?
you. It looks like you,
Oh,
like a younger version of you. Like if you had a
okay.
mohawk.
Yeah.
That it just
Yeah.
reminds me of you so much. It's my friend. It's so funny. It's at the bottom of the
And
deck. Every time I see this
I
card,
had
I'm
my
like,
hair in braids too at one point, but we ain't gonna go there.
oh
That
my
was
god.
very interesting. Um, First of all, I want to thank this person, Kwame Fairclough, for making the
Kwame.
donation. They didn't give a birthday. If a
Okay.
person doesn't give a name or a birthday or a question, can you just read a name with this person made a
Yeah, a name.
donation?
Yeah. All I have to
Yeah.
do is, people that read cards know you can just read the vibration because everything is energy.
Now, how many
Um,
cards come in your deck? Some have 52,
44.
44.
44.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Kwame. It's funny because issue came up. Let's see, Kwame. All right. Oh wow. Okay. So Kwame has Tire TTB. So this speaks of the shadow. This speaks of integration, Kwame, of your dark side, which isn't bad because the revelation that I received, it was about the dark side, the shadow side, is that we often try to avoid it because we feel as if it is uncontrollable, and we feel as if we reveal that side to the world, we will be rejected. But Spirit told me the way that I designed this card is that that shadow side is where the information lies. That's where your ancestors are. The mistakes that they've made in the past is buried deep in your shadow or dark side. So it actually do you good to go into that side. Whatever it is, whatever vices you have, just face it. Don't try to suppress it like she is. She's given the perfect face, smiling to the world, not thinking that nobody can see. You see that's your shadow side. But if you look at the roots, if you look at the roots of her
Ooh, I see
shadow
like a
side,
skeleton
it's coming
underneath
up. Yeah, it's
out of
coming up, and
root.
eventually, yes, and there's maggots, and eventually, if she doesn't, because she keeps suppressing that side, eventually, those roots that you see will reach up to this to that face that she's given the world, and it's going to be, that's when she's going to be exposed. As far as as a person who is trying to repress or cover the dark side, so it's telling you, Kwame, that your dark side is okay. It's okay to make friends with the dark, if you get my drift, because there's information there. When you face it, whatever it is in the dark that you in your shadow side that you are afraid of, and you make friends with it, that's when you become a actualized human being.
That's
So this
interesting.
is what
Now,
this
this one
one.
is by Ann Little. She said, this is amazing. I agree. Um, she is born August 18th of 68, born at
Okay.
2:26 p.m. So she
Mm-hmm.
is a fire sign with a fire number versus the last person who was a fire sign with an earth number, or the person before who was a fire sign but with a water number, which is totally
Yeah.
different energies. Okay. So fire and fire means doubly passionate, doubly proactive, doubly get up and go. But I noticed
Yeah.
in my experiences that normally women who are born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of any month, especially under fire signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, normally have a tendency of attracting men in uniform to them. Military, law enforcement, construction, fire, something, security, but normally they're either handling tools, machines, or um wearing uniforms. But this is her. So her numbers are the 9, 1, and 4, and her best days are always on Tuesday and Sunday. and looking at it, this is her year to fall in love or fall out of love, all depending on what her circumstances at this point in her life. So what say you about her card?
I don't know if she has yellow on, because I feel like, because I can't see the, but I drew this is the ultimate, and I'm saying yellow because the card I drew, this is the ultimate Oshun card. You guys, I don't know people who are familiar with, like, if anybody, most people know about Oshun. She is the Orisha of sweet waters in West Africa, and this is the ultimate. She has many manifestations, that is many personalities. In this particular manifestation of Oshun, she is depicted as the source, or Orishun means the source. It means the source of who you are, going back to the source, teaching, if you have children, even teaching yourself about your history. And also, it is also the ultimate divine feminine. It speaks of, like you were just talking about, this is the year for her, for love and all that. And that's what Oshun actually represents, self-love, and then giving that love out.
Excellent.
So this speaks of the source. And also, and what you think is a disadvantage is actually an advantage. So if you know how people will say, if you're soft and feminine, you're going to be taken advantage of, because no, this card is actually saying that is your strength.
Well, I would say from
Being
her birthday, I
soft.
wouldn't mess with her personally. Okay. I mean, you could, but if you get your feelings hurt, then, listen, can't be said we didn't have this And in fact, Kwame made it clear that he is a man. His name is Kwame
Yeah.
Downey, and he's
Mhm.
born October the 7th. And it's so interesting because that means he's in a 6th personal year, which governs his sign of Libra. He was born at 7 a.m., which means his sun is in the 12th house in the sign of Pisces. But it also indicates, so he is an air sign with a water number. So it means very analytical, very spiritual. And since this year, 2023, adds up to a 7, and he is a 7 itself, it makes it a very significant year for him. But even more so next year in 2024, when he enters actually a 7 personal year. But he wanted to give us some feedback to let us know.
Yeah, 7, and that 7, and two things. What you said, he's an air number and a water. Did you say he's a
Yeah, he's an
fire and
air
water?
number. He's an air
Air.
number with a water number. Air sign with a
Yeah,
water number,
yeah,
excuse me.
yeah. So those are like kind of like two opposing forces, that dark and light again, the oil and water that doesn't mix, but that needs to mix, because there has to be a reconciliation of those two opposing sides. And also the number 7, as you know, is a number of the spiritual, the spiritual
Oh yeah, definitely,
archaeologist, is about going
definitely.
into the spirit world. It's the 7 is the number, the power I think I use to go into the spirit world to get information out. But the key is, like I was telling you, Kwame, and I knew you were a guy, because Kwame
Yeah, because
is a
that's
Ghanaian name. Is a
hmm
Ghanaian name, and it's usually given to males. So it's like going into the dark side, but not staying in the dark. Getting information from the dark side and bringing it to the light, and then using it. And but there has to be like a merging of that dark and light, of that masculine and feminine. Because if you don't try to investigate those dark corners, those shadows of yourself, it will kind of seep into your regular life, and that's how you end up losing control, and everything just goes crazy.
now here's interesting. I have Sister Palmer and Vincica. I hope I'm pronouncing her first name right. But this is interesting. She's inquiring about both of her children. One, her son, who is November the
Hmm.
23rd of Sagittarius, and her daughter, who is a Libra, October 21st. So
Okay, how do you say her first name? I'll just check. I
it's
just asked a question about her
Vin
kids.
Vincica. I would guess
Francesca.
Vincica.
Okay, I'll pull 2
Vincica
cards for her
Palmer.
kids.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
okay.
so while you're doing that, that tells me her son is a fire sign with an air number. Her daughter is an air sign with a fire number. So
One fell out.
both of her children have air and fire, except with the son, he's fire by
Hmm.
sign, but air by number. Her daughter is air by sign and fire by number, which I think is very interesting. So it tells me both
Yeah,
her children are very similar in terms of personalities, both very well known. But if they're both having a bad day at the same time, that would be interesting, because sometimes siblings can have differences of opinion too.
Yeah, that's really interesting, Vesica. So I just pulled randomly about your, because I don't know their names, so I just said your children. So I used your energy to pull the
Yes.
cards. So the first one for your son is saying this card is the partner to the oracle system called Ifa. So this is a 16 calorie divination, and this particular in this illustration, I'm trying to get across the importance of community and having like a spiritual ritual that the person does, a practice that you go to that is monthly or weekly that really helps to ground you. And the moon signifies, shining the light in areas where there's darkness. So your son could really benefit from spirituality and having some kind of spiritual practice, and also community, like some kind of communal gathering that maybe he's already involved in, or he's going to involve himself in. He would really benefit. He would really benefit from a routine spiritual practice. The second card was for your daughter, and it's funnily enough, I drew the card for the maiden, and because then this card speaks of, this is Oshun as well. This is that goddess Oshun, and this card is very, very interesting because this is the depiction of the maiden who is responsible for carrying the appeasement offerings to the goddess during her annual festival. So this card depicts a very, very important young woman who is a person who is kind of like the spokesperson for deity. So two very, very powerful cards. Two very, very powerful cards. So your daughter is she's going to be a very helpful person. She likes to help, people, and yeah, yeah, two really, really interesting cards.
Okay, very good. Very good. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's
This is
funny that I
from
pulled the maiden for her.
and this is from Sister Mayette Jakuta Jackson. She is a Virgo. I know that, September
Okay.
13th. So what say
Yeah,
you? Now,
okay.
I will say this. She, while you getting your shuffling your deck, I would say she's first of all a Virgo four person who is very
Mm-hmm.
different and visionary, earth sign with an air number, practical and yet logical in her conclusions about how she reaches things, yet very sensitive, a little misunderstood, but her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5, and her best days are always on a Sunday, followed
Yeah.
by a Monday, followed by a Wednesday.
And
So
it's funny because her middle name is actually the one of the names for Shango. That's a Yoruba name. Jakuta is one of the names for the deity
interesting,
Shango. So
interesting.
yeah, I don't know if she's aware of that.
Okay,
Okay, so okay, interesting. So we have that the Janice face, very, very powerful card. This is a very earthy card. This is a very I wasn't sorry, but my Lloyd, what did you say about her numbers? Was the numbers related to water or earth or
she's an Earth sign with an air number. So it's
that's
interesting
her
when you
life?
say it's a very
That is
earthy card.
crazy.
That would describe her zodiac sign to a degree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the ultimate healer. This is one of the oldest orishas. His name is Obalu Aye. He's 100% earth and fire, a
I
little bit of
heard of
fire as well.
Abaluaye. Yeah,
Obaluaye, yeah.
yeah.
Obaluaye. The Spanish, the derivative of the tradition calls him Babaluaye. So I'm pretty sure you've heard of him. So this
Yes, yes,
speaks of the
exactly.
healer, Mahat, and this speaks of the poison being the cure. The poison is the cure. It's like the wounded healer in astrology. When you talk about Chiron and being the wounded healer, that's what you are. But you have to heal yourself, like the previous person. That dark and light, that both sides of your psyche has to be brought together for you to be the person that you're supposed to be. This is a very powerful card. It's a very, very powerful orisha. So he's saying that self-healing is necessary, and facing the trauma is a necessary step for you to step into who you actually are, which is the healer. Really, really powerful.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
very, very earthy
interesting.
card.
Now, this one is another person born on the 13th, Miss Brown. She said, will she be successful with her life insurance license and will she ever get married again? I will say this: she is an air sign with an air number. The first of
Miss
all,
Brown.
it tells me that she will always attract people that are very odd and unusual. She is a widow, as she put in parentheses at the end of the sentence. And so
Yeah.
this year for her, she's in a 3 personal year. But obviously, you got something. What does the card say for her?
Yeah, this one popped out right away. Like the cards were speaking. They were like, first of all, Miss Brown needs to. There's a lot of fears that are not. There's a lot of. There's a situation in front of her that she's made to be bigger than it actually is, and it has to do with the fears that she's projected onto this situation. There is a situation in front of her, but it's not as threatening as the thing is making itself to be. What do I mean by that? The symbol on this card is a crocodile. Yeah, the crocodile is very intimidating, right? If you were walking and you saw this, you'd be like, okay, this is danger. This is a situation that I can't cross because the person is supposed to be trying to cross. But if you look closely, the crocodile actually has 3 dead legs. He has three
Interesting.
paralyzed legs. So he's a crocodile. He's actually a harmless threat. I know that doesn't make any sense. It's a threat to you, but it's a harmless situation that if you just blow it out of the way and just ignore it and just keep walking to the path that you want to walk, it'll just dissipate. There's just a lot of fear.
Yeah,
She
but
does have a
what
lot of
you I
fear.
think what you're also trying to say, it may be, hold on, it may be a lot of fear, but it's of such a
Such a
minor. It's more
minor
in the head
issue
than
in
in
her
fact.
head. She's blown it up into
Yeah,
something that
yeah.
is really,
And then when she
it's
gets
just a,
past that point of worry, it's no big deal.
it's no big deal at all because it looks intimidating at first look, but when
Yes.
you go into it and you lean into this situation, you're able to study it, and you're like, this crocodile has 3 dead legs. What the hell is it gonna do? It's not. It can't do anything.
Certainly can't
It's,
catch up with you, that's for sure.
exactly. So that's the message I would give to Miss Brown is that she has to clear the cobwebs out of her head and just like overcome the fear.
Now, Evelyn Torres says, how can she find your deck?
I think did we put the link to my
Yeah, well,
website?
in fact,
It's Orisha's Dreams.
let me
Yeah,
see.
it
I
should be.
think I have that right there. Let me put your banner up right quick.
Yeah, I think the link, or I could just find it real quick.
I think this is it on the screen, right? The Oral Deck Creator site is www Orisha
Yes, that's
Dreams.
it. That's it. Yep. So
Okay.
that's
Now
my
there's no
website.
S at Dream, right? It's just Orisha Dream.
Yeah, no, it's Orisha's Dreams. So it's Orisas dream.com. Exactly the way you have it spelled.
Right, exactly. Okay. I want to make, because just the slightest spelling will send them somewhere else. I want to make sure they
Somewhere
go
else.
directly
No, but
to your
I'm easy
site.
to find. I'm easy to find online anyway. I'm
Okay,
easy to
good,
find,
good,
even if they
good, good.
make a
And you
mistake.
also on Instagram too. I meant to put that on there
Instagram.
too.
That's my main. That's my main interaction. Actually, that's where the Yami Oracle. So if you type in it, the Yami Oracle on Instagram, my page will come up. The Yami Oracle deck. The Yami
Well,
Oracle.
hold on, because I'm going to add that to it. How is what's the Instagram again?
The Yami Oracle.
How do you spell
And
it,
then
please? Oh, the underscore, right?
underscore, and then Yami is Iyami Oracle deck,
I
and you
Y
see it. It
A
comes up.
M I
Iyami Oracle deck. It comes
Oracle
up.
deck. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
Comes up
Okay.
right
I'm
away.
going to make sure I add that to the banner. All righty. All right.
Cool.
So that is, thanks, Miss Torres, for that as a how you can get that. Let me do this banner. Okay. Okay. So let's get back to the comments here. And let me see something here. Let me go back a second. Now, this person is Tony. Tony, thank you very much for the donation.
Tony Z. I can see that easily. Okay.
Yeah, Tony Z. They're born March 8th. Now, they're a water sign with an earth number. So now when I
Okay.
see water and earth, that to me, I call a nurturing kind of element, because anything you want to grow on God's green earth
Ooh.
needs a combination of rich soil
Yeah.
and water. So what say
Yeah. And it's
you
that this
about
one
her?
jumped up. She jumped right up, Tony.
Wow.
Tony, is very interesting because this is the first card that I designed because this was the first image in spirit that came to me. And this was the energy that came to me that helped me to investigate, the images, everything that you see. She was the one that led me to the information. You see the owl on her shoulder, and she's actually a very watery. It's funny, like Lloyd, we were just talking about, water. So this is Aje Fun Fun Fun. So this is the white clothed, triad of the divine feminine. I'm pretty sure you've heard of the triple goddess before.
Yes.
So this
Yes.
is her maiden form. This is her in her maiden form, and she represents water. You see the cowrie shells on her forehead. And you see the owl. So that owl speaks a lot. That speaks of looking in the dark. That speaks of looking through, seeing what others do not see. It speaks of spiritual investigation, but it also speaks of a person, a very, very, very sensitive soul, like what you were saying about Lloyd. Sensitivity, the nurturer, that's what she is. But again, there's an element of self-care that is really, really important with this card because she feels so much. She feels she sees what other people don't see, and she feels more than most. She really, really needs to take care of herself. And the element that to use for that self-care is water. So
Interesting.
yeah, this jumped right out.
Okay, now here's a case where this person benefits boss. They says they're 11/15/67. They were told they have to leave the homeless shelter today. Been
Benefit
there
boss. Okay.
since May 9th of last 2 months ago. They said they're a veteran. So that tells, and they says what's funny is they were planning to leave tomorrow anyway. And it's
Wow.
interesting
Okay.
because tomorrow
Yeah.
happens to be the 6th. And this
It's
person
good.
is born on
It's
the
good.
15th.
Hey,
1 + 5 is 6. So that makes sense. So what card do you have for this veteran?
that's good. What do you have for his numbers though? Because this is
His
good.
numbers would be the 6, 9, and 3.
Okay. You said the six and you said 1 5,
Yeah, because he's
this
born on the
card jumped
15th.
out.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This
I like that card.
this card out right away, benefit boss. So this is a deity that I was very interested in depicting because he and she, because it comes in a female and masculine manifestation, is very rare to find information. I know most people have heard of Ogun and you've heard of Oshun. So this deity is said to be the son of those two very powerful fire and water energies. This is Logun Ede, right? And if you see the tools, so this is a hunter deity who lives in the forest. Perfect combination again of that masculine and feminine side. So this card is telling you your way, don't worry, your way is there. The path is there because you yourself are Ogun, because you said you are a veteran, right? And that's the ultimate soldier in and of itself. So that energy of Ogun, Logun, which is the hunter, the warrior, is with you. And Ogun is the one, this deity as well, that finds the way, clears the path for the other Orishas to come to earth. So you're gonna find your way. You will find your way. You have the tools within you to the solution, to come up with a solution to your problem. And it's buttress. It's interesting. When Lloyd was talking, my favorite card is on the bottom of and he said six, right? And
Well,
that's
it's
why I
become my
laughed.
favorite card too because of you. Thank
I
you.
loved
Thank you.
that's why it reminds me of you so much because and this is card six. And because the
Interesting.
benefit boss had such a scary situation, and I know what it feels like to be in that limbo as far as so I really have empathy for him. Issues a very important deity to come up, and it's really good omen for you because he's the one that is also the Lord of obstacles. So he's telling you the way is open. All you need to do is make a choice. All you need to do just you just have to sit back in yourself, and the way that you need to go will be revealed to you because you have the tools. You have two very powerful male deities. You know what's funny, benefit boss, about these two? This is the divine feminine. This my oracle deck, I designed it mostly to be about the feminine aspects of the Orishaka culture. Now
Yes.
I had to add the male. The reason why I love these two cards especially this is one of the few. I think I designed maybe 5 or 6 cards that are related to the male orishas,
Energy.
and I did that on purpose because there's so many designs out there about the male orishas, but I needed to include them. So when these cards come up, the male cards from my deck, it's a really, really powerful energy, and it's a very, very strong and yang energy, because these
Well, we
two are
wish
like
this person
powerful.
all the best. And it's interesting because
Yeah,
they're in a
wish him all the
sixth
best.
personal year as well.
You see
It
that?
matches their
I'm telling
birthday.
you, he's talking tonight. See,
Yeah, yeah,
I have to
yeah.
send you a copy. I will have to send you a copy of this original, because I have
Now that's
these
in
are
my deck
original.
too, right?
Yes, it is in your deck, but I have the
Okay.
life
Yeah,
size.
I'm gonna
It's
take a
not
look at it
this
and give you a
big.
talk tonight, okay?
I'm
Um,
telling you, I will
this
have to
is
send you a
this is
copy of it. No, I'm talking about a copy of the live portrait, because I have the
really
big one. Yeah, I may have to do that.
wow. That's
I may have to do
nice.
that.
Now, this is Rebecca Phillips. She says, so rare she gets to join a live broadcast. Thanks so much for joining us. She says, we'll give her a reading if you can. Yes, we
Rebecca
can. And her birthday is
Phillips.
coming up at this weekend on next Monday. In fact, I think what's today? Today is the 5th.
Wow, Rebecca's
Yeah,
like,
it would
they
be
talking,
on
boy.
Monday. And
Cards are
so
just
we want to
falling out of
wish
my
you
hands.
happy birthday in advance, Rebecca. She is a water sign with a fire number.
Oh my God,
What?
it's so funny. Yeah, because it's so funny, Rebecca. Yeah, because you just, she's your birthday. Because I'm not good with numbers, but my Lord is good with numbers. So he was able to pick up that your birthday is coming up, and this card is like, she's just saying, don't worry, be happy, have fun, dress up for your birthday. Just be the belle of the ball on your party. Because when Oshun comes up, this is another depiction of Oshun. Remember, I was telling you guys about that goddess Oshun, the goddess of sweet waters. This is her in her beauty manifestation, because she's a deity of beautification of the physical self. And
Yes.
Valod was saying your birthday is coming up, and I just hear her saying, man, she needs to have fun. You need to go out to town, you need to show off that feminine energy, and just show off, to dress up, and don't worry, be happy. Don't worry,
All
be completely
righty.
happy. It's a really, really
That
good
sounds
card.
that sounds very encouraging. Now we have another one. And by the way, thanks for the donation. They are born totally the opposite. Both cancers, but their energies are different as night and day. Where with the last Rebecca, hers was fire and water. I mean, excuse me, water
Yeah.
and fire. With Lady Simone, this is water and water, which means super sensitive, very insightful, very intuitive or psychic. And actually, she would make an excellent healer if she was going that direction too.
Lady Simone. Simone, yeah? Simone. Lady Simone. This one is
All
the
right,
card.
let's see what we got for the sister.
Yeah, so talking about a healer. Talking
Ooh,
about a healer. These two cards came up. See, this one as well. The fear. That fear that isn't necessary, and the healer. Yeah, you're right. Master
wow.
healer. Like,
Uh-huh.
you don't understand. This Obaluaya is a deep card, you guys. This is one of the heavy, heavy. I'm talking about when you talk about the wounded healer, for real, like, so some priest of these deity, right? They went. How did they discover that their energy is merged with this deity? Is that they get physically ill themselves through that illness, like some kind of weird illness is wrong with them, and they often go consult, and it comes out, oh, you're the reason why you are being chronically sick is because this deity is trying to get your attention. That's how deep and heavy he is. But he's a
Wow.
master healer. He's the Lord of poisons as well. Poison and the cure.
Yeah,
The
because you were
poison
mentioning the
is the
word
cure.
poison. It almost sounds
Hmm.
counterintuitive or something of that nature, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
the deep, 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 deep part. And it's fear, but there's fear attached to her going towards what she wants. But, ultimately, she's a healer, just like her numbers
good.
say.
Now, this person said they love the Star app. Thank you. I do have a numerology
I
app
need
that
to get
just
that. Yeah.
released,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'll let people know. But thanks so much. That's very encouraging. Because see, if I say I love the Star 8, they're gonna say, "Well, of course, Lloyd, you created it, so you should love it." but the fact that that was unsolicited, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Now we have this person here. Their name is Tumani. Peace and much love and light to Sister Queen. She would like a general reading. So
A
what
card
say
just, I'm
you?
telling, the cards are just popping up for
Well,
you
good,
guys. And
very good.
her
That
name,
means
what's her avatar is Rainy. Is that Rainy? Because
rainy, yes. And she's
it's
born June
interesting,
the 11th.
because that's what attracted me, because this card popped out. This is Oya and this is a rain. This is the Orisha Oya is the
Interesting.
counterpart of Shango. Orisha Oya is the deity of storms and wind and rain, and she's the bringer of change. And the number nine, I don't know if that means anything to you, Tumani, because the number nine, her number is the number nine. And the number nine in Orisha tradition is related to change, sudden change. There's going, when change is here, or when the storm is coming, it's very uncertain and things can be uprooted. There's a lot of there's just a lot of chaos. There's a lot of chaos. So this card is telling you that go just lean into the chaos, because after the chaos, there's going to be peace. So yeah, it's funny your name is Rainy, and then this card just popped out.
Wow.
And this
Wow.
is, oh
That's
yeah, this is the
interesting.
Orisha of change. There's a lot of change coming. Get ready, just hang on, and just deal, and just lean into it, because on the other side is going to be peace.
But that is interesting. She had rainy, and that's what you saw.
That's
Yeah, I mean, if the cards are not fitting the situations now, this gentleman is stoked culture. He is born November the 25th, which makes him a fire sign with a water number. So that means this is year to find his spirit, find his spiritual center, because not only is he in a 7 personal year, he's also in a 7, and his personal year is a 7. So all these things are aligning for him. So the rule is not to chase, but simply to let the law of attraction by what you're thinking. So what you're thinking is what you're going to bring. What say you about this person?
Yeah, and it's funny because that this is the 16. Remember I was saying that
A
16
seven,
number. I want to
a
do
seven.
research.
Yeah,
It's very, very, this is a 16-eyed lamp, a very, very important tradition in Yoruba, tradition. And this is the 16-eyed lamp that is connected to that deity Oshun. So this card speaks of celebration, family reunions, perhaps a tradition. There's a deep tradition that stoked culture is a part of, that he needs to discover, because this is part of the culture in Nigeria. This lamp is lit. It's going to be coming up in August, I believe, this festival every year in honor of Orisha Oshun, and it's lit for 16 days. So
interesting.
that there is a call for you to go back to your roots. And I don't know if it's going to be like a family reunion. I don't know if it has to do with your lineage or bloodline, but you have a very, very, very important work that is connected to your lineage and your bloodline, and your ancestors are waiting too. So this is a celebration, because the card, you see, the name of the card is says celebration.
Yeah, yeah, because that is an adornment of celebration, if I'm not mistaken. Would
Yes.
that be
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, exactly. And exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yep. And that light, the fire is a really, really good omen, because it clears away the old, and it brings in, and it just purifies. It purifies everything around it. Did you say he's a fire number? Fire
Yes,
sign
he's a
with
fire sign with a water number.
interesting and interesting. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I would say for
All
Stoke
right, so
culture.
let's see who else we can do here. This is very fascinating. Let me see. There's a person I so I'll stop and do this is Frida Darby, which is an earth sign with
Frida.
a fire number. Okay, that means her key numbers are the 1, 4, and 9. So it tells me she's always been a very forceful personality, because Taurus is a very forceful sign. The 1 is a very forceful number. This will remind me of the combination of Minister Malcolm X, who was a Taurus 1, who always spoke his truth. And
Oh
people
my
may not
God.
think it, but he,
I swear. You're the
he
oracle. Look at the last thing you
Wow,
said.
look at that. Look
I
at
didn't make it.
that.
You guys
Look
saw
at
me draw the
that.
card. I didn't draw it like you guys saw me shuffle. Look at the last thing you said.
Yes, speak your truth.
This is the ultimate, and this is the ultimate power. It's even beyond speaking the truth. It's having the power of the orator, because Malcolm X is the greatest orator of the 21st century, hands down. One of my favorite historical figures
Me
to
too.
to
Me too. One of my
fascinate.
heroes.
The way the words, his way with words, and oh my God, what you said is so powerful. Because this is what Frida, that energy, that's what she's carrying, that energy of that power of the word. She has power in her mouth. She has power in what she says. So she has to be careful, making sure that she's speaking positivity onto herself. Because there's
Uh-huh.
power. Wow, that's so interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, we working this thing. That's all I can say. All right.
These cards are like hot
I
tonight.
mean,
They're
it's just
like
amazing. That's all. Now, this one
amazing.
is my music forte. Peace, peace to you too. They're born December the 16th. Now, they are also a fire sign with a water number. Their numbers are the 7, 2, and 3. And so their best days are always on a Monday and a Thursday, and then a minor way Friday. And this particular
Mhm.
year for them, they earn an 8 personal year. So this is a year for them to gain a certain mastery over accomplishments and achievements and recognition, maturity of growing up. Of course, born in '86. Of course, you know you mature already, but when a person's going through an 8 cycle, they take on a higher level of really, really understanding the part that people are playing on the stage of their life and the characters.
Interesting.
So say, what say you about this person?
Wow, and a birth time is 444. That's a very auspicious number, isn't it?
Yes,
The
it
way it's
is. Yes,
lined
it
up. It
is.
says, "My music forte, keep your plans a secret for now." That's just you know you when you know you know. So this
That's
card is
interesting.
talking
7 is
about
the number of secrets too.
what? See, keep whatever immediate plans you have, keep it secret for now. And the detractors that think that they want to sabotage you, the saboteurs, don't let it be known that you are aware of them, because in the end you are going to defeat them. But you have to keep your plans a secret from everybody until the last moment. So that's what the message, because this card speaks of total defeat, and this is Oshun again. This is that energy. This is another manifestation of Orisha Oshun in her warrior aspect.
Listen, I've got so many responses. Can you stay longer, please?
Yeah, of course. Because I can't see the chat. I'm so nosy because I'm using my phone. What is everybody saying? I don't know what they're saying.
That's all right. I won't keep you much longer. If you can stay longer now, this is
Of
from
course.
Dark Moon Goddess. She
Hmm.
is a water sign with a water number, which means super sensitive, super perceptive, super
Dark moon goddess.
intuitive, super into her feelings. So Monday, which was a full moon day, because Monday is the best day for a Cancer and a number 2 at the same time. So she should have really been into her feelings about some of the things that was going on around her, or some of the people that were coming into her space at that time. Her key
Hmm.
numbers, by the way, are the 2, 7, and 6, and Mondays and Fridays are her best days. So, what say you
Okay.
about this beautiful lady?
Yeah, dark moon goddess. Dark moon. It's funny she has the dark moon
Interesting.
goddess. It
Interesting.
speaks of that
Yeah.
shadow work, that information. Don't be afraid of to go into your shadow side. Don't be afraid of confronting those shadows and leaning into it. Don't be ashamed of any of your vices. Don't be ashamed of it, because when you start with that shaming tactic with your psyche, that's when the repression wants to come. You want to repress certain things because you want to be this. You want to be this to everyone, and you want to be nice, and you want to be the smiling face, and you want to be perfect. But no one is perfect, because we are both this and this. And this card is telling you that it's okay, because the universe in and of itself was created in dark and light. The ancestors said that, Yoruba ancestors said the world was created in dark and light, in good and evil was created at the same time. So it's okay to be dark and light. Just be aware. Because when you're not aware, that's when this festers. That's when all those vices, the anger, the greed, the jealousy that everybody suffers from, but we deny it, and then you
Yeah.
repress it, but then it creeps up. It creeps up. So this speaks of what's the word, reconciling the two sides of your psyche. That is okay. And there's information there, dark moon goddess. By your name, I can tell you're a deep person. There's information in the dark. I don't have to tell you that.
And
There's
you know what's
information there in the
interesting?
dark.
And what's interesting, I meant to that I think in the Bible it said one of the first things is, and let there be light.
Be light. The dark
Which
was
means they got to
first.
come out of the darkness in order to bring light.
Yeah, but
You know
we
what I
all
mean?
afraid of the dark. We all afraid of the dark. We think the dark is, but no, that's what the information is. That's when the ancestors. I'm telling you, these cards were speaking to me because when I created this card, I didn't have that information that that's where the ancestors were. And then it came to me. I was talking to my roommate, as a matter of fact, and she was just like, "Yeah, because the ancestors, because your ancestors are in that deep crevices." And it came to me. I said, "Yes, because the mistakes your ancestors have made is in the dark. So if you go in there, you can access them, access their mistakes, and then learn from the mistakes. And then you carry on the work that they were supposed to, do."
Well, let me tell you, speaking of light, Fatima Merriweather said, light and love, Brother Lloyd. And she's born
Fatima,
on June the 4th of 1995, which means her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. And it
I
means
like
she's
that
an
name.
air sign with an air number.
Fatima.
And I noticed when
Okay.
people are air signs with air numbers, they're always into their heads. They're
Mm,
always about, things that are like,
this
the
card
brain
popped
is
up for
always
her.
on. The brain is always on.
Yeah, there's a transformation. This card popped up for her as well.
Ah, the butterfly
Fatima.
again.
Love and light's funny, the love and that cocoon coming out of seeing yourself for the first time. There's a transformation, major transformation that's, you know, happening for her, that she's going to start seeing things for exactly what they are. And it's going to be rough at first because transformation is not easy. That butterfly coming out of that cocoon is actually an ugly stage. But when she comes out and she steps into the light and she sees herself, it's a beautiful healing thing because then you're able to spread your wings and you're able to be yourself. But again, everything starts with self. You see those two cards, you see how everything always goes back to the
Yeah,
self.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
And
this
that
this this
makes
is the
sense.
eureka. You're gonna have a eureka moment, Fatima. I don't know if you're familiar with that term. That's a term that means I understand. Everything just comes into place. So yeah, it's a
Okay,
transformation.
now we have this person, TJ, and thanks so much for your donation. They are born October the 15th,
TJ.
TJ, and he wants to know, should it be New Jersey, South Carolina, North Carolina?
TJ. In regards to the state. Okay. TJ. Well, wherever there's water, you need to be near water. I mean, I know Baba Lloyd wants to go, but TJ, you're definitely a child of water. You're definitely your energy vibrates towards the color white, and water is what I would say, hands down. Wherever there's water, you always be successful because water is connected to your success. This is Olokun, by the way. This is very similar to the Greek deity Poseidon, the deity of the underneath the ocean. And this deity governs extreme wealth. This is the richest Orisha out of all the Orishas. This is the richest, the wealth,
And you
right?
know what's interesting? They're born on
So
the
water.
15th. And what's so amazing is the 15th denotes money, gifts, and favors from others.
Boom. And I will add exactly what Valois said, but everything is water for you. Money, gifts, everything has to be water. So wherever you want to move to, if there's water around, if there's closest vicinity, you're all good. That's what I would say.
All righty. Good, good. This is let me see. We're gonna do
Let me see what's happening
co-color.
in the chat. I'm so nosy.
They were wondering if they could get a reading from her. They're born 6/29/1970. Hi, Miss Empress. What's in store for me this upcoming
How do you say
cycle?
the name? Coca-Cola? How do you say the name?
I got it's KO then COLAR. So it's
Okay.
KO colors or co
Colors?
colors. That's how I
Colors.
put it,
No
you
problem.
know. but I know this, they were a Cancer. Happy belated birthday just about a week and a half ago. It also indicates that they're very intuitive. This is a year where they're in a romance and finance cycle for this year. That's how I would describe this particular person. And normally when a woman's entering a sixth cycle, I said there are three doors you're about to enter. One is if there is it's door number one, you have nobody coming into the year. Door number two, if you got somebody, it moves to the next level. Door number three, if the person's been working your nerves, you let them go.
Crazy. This is another Eureka. This is your mouth is like, I swear. The Jamaicans, like my Caribbean people in the chat, will understand this saying. I remember when I lived in the Bahamas for a while. When they say, I think it's like your mouth is like a goat, but it's not an insult. It means that whatever you say, it means that you're always telling what's happening. I know that sounds like an insult, but trust
No,
me,
I
it's
don't
not.
take it as an insult. No,
No, because I say that because you said the love. I mean, look at what I told.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is a very karmic relationship again. This is Shango and Oya. This is love. This is a very, I don't know if Co-Colors is involved with a person that is off and on. It's a very, very karmic relationship. Like she can't shake this guy or he can't shake her. They're very, very karmically linked. If she isn't, there is a love that is coming that is going to literally change her. It's a very transformative card. And you said money. That's what I was saying. You were talking about, yeah, and money is on the way too, on the bottom of the deck.
Well, it sounds like she's going
Go
to be our
ahead.
new best
Love,
friend.
money. Love, money. Exactly. Telling you, especially with this.
I think that's
Love, money. You're
absolutely
good. She's good.
it's
She's
amazing.
good.
Now, this one is from Darian Cheatham. Thank you so much for the donation. They are born December the 22nd of 1980, and they want to know about a
Okay.
career path. Well, the master number 22, which adds up to a 4 also, tend to do well in anything related to the mechanical, mathematical sciences, computers, technology, engineering, architecture, design, things of that nature. And not only that, but you're entering you are in a 5 personal year, which means you're at a turning point in your life anyway. And it's about making a decision. So in a 5 cycle, you can go into the world of business, science, commerce, communications, import, export, the stock exchange, the literary field. And maybe you should pin something, but you're very odd and unusual, and yet looking at that birthday, all those twos in the birthday, super sensitive at the same time. So that
Yeah,
should stand out. What say you
agreed.
about this particular person?
Agreed. Darren is a very deep, like just like what you just said, very deep person. Maybe even hides his knowledge from people. Like people around him probably don't even know how deep he is because this is the ultimate wisdom. This is the wise one. He's the wise one. And it's saying, and this card is telling him that he has to use the information, all the good and the bad, especially the bad that he's experienced since he was a child, even. That's information that is necessary, that is going to be necessary for him to create something, to transmute all the negativity into wisdom. Because wisdom, it really is applied knowledge. You know a lot, but are you applying what you know? So when
Uh-huh.
you're able to put in practice what you know, that's when you become the wise one. They're calling you the wise one, Darren. So only you know. So the information, when you ask about career path, I would say this card speaks of using the information. You are a master of information, and the information that you have access to, you got from experience, good and bad. Use that.
Very good. Now the next one is Stacy. She was born
Stacy.
at 5:40 p.m. in the afternoon, and she was born on October the 30th. So she is a water sign with a fire number. Okay, and she
Okay.
was born in 1975. So Stacy's this year. Now I'm calibrating my head, but I need to do it on paper. She's either in a 2 personal year or a master number 11 personal year. So I'm going to assume, let's say she's in a master number 11 personal year. That means you should do things with a very high sense of consciousness about what you're doing, why you're doing it, and the goals you're setting. If you are in a 2 personal year, but because again, I'm just mentally doing this in my head, It simply means take your time, be patient. Uh, Threes are not known for their patience. Scorpios are not known as a sign for their patience. But yet, this year is saying that is by forcing it and rushing it and pushing it, you will find more resistance. So just take it easy, take your time. And when I tell women in a two cycle, I always tell them to use the Delilah touch, just be irresistible. When you women want something, y'all are really so irresistible. I mean, it's a darn shame. You know what I'm saying? And that would be the tactic she should use this year for Stacy.
Yes,
So,
yes. I
what say
wanted to
you about
check
Stacy with
something
the
real quick.
card?
I want to read something from her in the book real quick because this is the Godhead is the one is what I pulled for you, and I'm led to read from
Ooh,
the guidebook
interesting.
for you.
Uh
This is the
huh.
Godhead, and I designed this to illustrate again the masculine and the feminine side, and to self love. And you see the dove,
That
that's the
looks
Holy Spirit
powerful.
above
That
them.
looks very
Yeah,
powerful. Yeah, and the
and
dove above
what
their
I
head.
wrote, yeah, well, what I wrote in the guidebook is I searched for God and found only myself. I searched for myself and I found only God. So this card speaks of destiny because this is Ori. Ori is the metaphysical head, the actual physical head, and the metaphysical head, the spiritual head, the Godhead, your creator, your personal creator is there with you. The God within you is speaking to you to search because everything you need is within you. Very, very powerful card. Very, very powerful card because it speaks of searching for God, but God is within you. That's why that dove is above them.
Ah, I see. That's so interesting.
Yeah, and it
All
speaks of
right.
destiny, merging of your feminine and masculine, higher self, self actualization, and this is your soul's calling. So, whatever you're led to, her intuition is really strong. Her sixth sense is very, very
No,
strong, and
but
it's
that's
always right.
exactly the cycle she's in. Whether it's an 11 or
Oh,
2, these are psychic energies. They just pick up on things. But if you ask, well, how do you know and who told you? It would almost throw them off unless they know and have confidence within themselves that
confidence,
there's a
that
higher
power.
source speaking to me that
Oh
I
my
can't
God,
explain to you, but I'm following spirit. And normally those are the best guides too. That's why they
incredible,
call them spirit
incredible,
guides. Now, there
incredible.
was my tie who said her husband was
My
born
type.
on the same day
Oh
as
my
you,
God, that's my
11
birthday.
11. So, so what about her husband?
Oh, my type. Okay, my type's husband.
Now, I will say this year for you is either a master number 11 or a 2, which means you are in a spirit guide without question yourself. If it's an 11, it just means you're functioning at a higher level. And the fact that you're in the 11th month and the 11th day, Amenta, this means that. And so that would go for her husband too. So he in his own
Yeah,
way may come up with new concepts, new elevations, new ideas. So what cards do you have for this
change. It's
gentleman?
so funny because this is the bottom of the deck, my type for your husband. This is the card of change. And then this I pulled this card yet again of transformation. He's going through a major and being a Scorpio, he's probably hiding it very well. Being born on my birthday, because I know how I am. When I'm going through my transformation, no one knows until it's over, and then I just change and I just come out like a different person, and they're like, "Oh, what happened?" So he's going through some stuff right now. Being
Uh-huh.
being born on that date, I can guarantee you that he hides it well, but he's going his water as well, and that deep, murky Pluto, and just going through the dark night of the soul, going through the dark night of the soul, and when he comes out on the end, it's going to be a good thing. But don't be
Because I would
surprised
imagine
that,
sometimes we all got to go through a transformation. I know I went through somewhere. I says,
yeah,
"Are you sure this is what you want to do?" Where we have those
exactly,
moments, and I guess it's a way for the higher source to test our faith, our
yes,
conviction, and whether we mean it or not.
yeah, yeah. So
Now,
that's what I was saying. Major change for him. Trini,
Now,
excuse me, is
Trinidad,
that
this is
Trinidad?
another
Okay,
person. They are born, they're borderline case, but I would put them in Cancer. So they would be a water sign with an air number under the master number 22. However, that means this particular year for them, they are in an 8 personal year, which is a cycle that deals with relationships, the coming of age, the reconnecting with the past, acquisitions of property or moving or things of that nature. Capricorns, Aquarians, and Librans will be affecting them very much or anybody born on the 4th, the 8th, the 13th, the 17th, the 22nd,
Okay.
26th, or 31st of any month. So what say you about them?
Yeah, as far as career path, as far as your the unemployment situation, don't let the disappointment of the past. I don't know what happened with the last job. Maybe you were emotionally attached to it, or maybe this is a relationship. But this card speaks of the heartbreak. Really, really, it was a very traumatic event that happened that you still think about. That really, really shook you because you're a very, very, very sensitive person. This is the card that depicts Yemoja. Yemoja. Yemaya, she's also called. This is one of her manifestation, and it speaks of great heartbreak that she went through. So this card is telling you you have to control your emotions. You have to control your temper, Trinicat. And don't let whatever happened in the past is happened. Don't cry over spilled milk. Just let it go and just let that hurt go. And what you wish, the employment that you want to come through, because issues here again, he's speaking again and he's like, I got you. The road is always, open. You just have to make that choice. But you just have to, make sure you let go of that past hurt.
You know what? Sometimes the letting go of a job can almost be actually a blessing in disguise, although it may not be in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
but it may actually turn things around. COVID of 2020 turned a lot of things around for a lot of people in ways that people could never even imagine. But it just goes like that. So we wish them all the best. Now, this is
Okay.
a girly Sunday. They says, can they
Early
get a
Sunday.
love reading, please? And that makes sense because they're a water sign with a water number, but they're in a 3 personal year, which means this is a good time for them to expand, enhance their career, their reputation. And in a 3 cycle, if you say you're going to do something, because to the negative, 3 represents superficiality. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, to the positive, if you say you're going to do something, then do it. So just don't let your words just be empty words, but words that has consequences to them.
Yeah, girly Sunday. It speaks of, with your question about the love reading. I don't know. This card is telling you to change your perception. This is a very powerful card. You see the owl at night, and Elaya. Elaya means the bird power, and it speaks of shifting your perception or on the issue, and you get a different understanding, looking at things from a different vantage point, like rising above. Like, let's say you focus love, 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 love. Perhaps you have to kind of look at it, whatever you're trying to go after, from a different vantage point. This is a really powerful card. This is the card of the seer too, because the owl is a really, really powerful. The card is a very powerful bird.
Well, let me say this. Speaking of that, can you read
And
my?
three. Oh, right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, go right ahead.
No, I was gonna say, did you say three? Did you say something about three for her?
Yes, because her numbers are the 2, 7, and 3, and she's in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
3
I was just saying.
personal year this year, which
Three
is about
person a year.
expansion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Three.
exactly
I know you
right.
said three. Yeah. See, LA is card 21, and two
Yeah.
plus one is three. So powerful.
Can you read my moderator, please, Empress Rel? She is
Empress
January the
Rail.
31st. She has been so loyal, so dependable, and she knows how to moderate a room. Between her and Jazz, I ain't got to worry. Other than y'all
See,
better
she
get the
flew
lights
out.
up before they'll talk bad about me.
I didn't even have to
Ooh,
try. Empress Rail is a mother. She's a great mother. She just wants everybody to be okay.
you know
Because
what?
this is
You never
Yemoja.
lied
This is one
about
of her.
that.
She just wants everybody to be. Oh my God! Look at this. Look at that. The hidden helper. This is the wife for a shoe. Card 6. The one I said. Oh my God! This is so funny. The one I said reminds me of you.
Yeah,
This is his wife,
really?
and
I was gonna
she's the
say she's a
helper.
nice looking lady. Okay. Okay.
She's she is. This is she. This is one of my favorite designs, and she's actually the one that is instrumental in the work that issue does. So I can see Empress Rail. There's a lot of work in the back scene for you, but this is what her vibration is, that making sure even people that are not, even children that are not hers, because Yemoja, this is Shango that Yemoja is holding, Orisha Shango. He is not her biological son, but she adopted him because that's just the way she is. You know,
But
she
that sounds
just
just
wants
like
everybody to be
Empress
okay.
Rail. That sounds just like her. She is
Yeah.
so caring and so loving. She's just wow. Wow,
And
that's
that's what she's supposed to
interesting.
be doing. That, and that's her role. That's,
And
she
she
has
does
that
it well.
old crone energy. Yeah, it's good. Good.
She does it
Empress.
well.
And look at the crown, because Yemaja is an empress as well.
Would show that
Tonight is
again? Show
funny.
that again? Because I went to
Yemaja, look at the crown. Empress
uh-huh.
Rail. Yemaja is an empress as well, because that crown signifies she's high up there in the
Well, we
hierarchy.
got about 4 or 5 more minutes, so let's start with good health equals wealth.
Okay,
Charlotte,
I like
greetings. It
that.
is time to change
Ashe.
careers. Or is it time to change careers? And I would say to a degree, hold on, let me get my little 2 cents in here. To a degree, yes, because you're in a two. Two is a transitory type of energy. There's a transition in either relationships. There are 3 areas now. It's more to it than that I explain in my books. But two, in essence, mean a change in relationships, a change in your workplace, or a change in your residence, feng shuiing and moving things around, changing relationship, mending fences, breaking things apart, as well as changes at the workplace, whether it's a new station, a new supervisor, new location, whatever. And it also indicates a change in the diet, because if you write the number 2 on a piece of paper, it's shaped like the intestines of the stomach. All right.
Yeah, and interesting. And she has the good health equals wealth, has the energy of the crone. This is the first card, number one. This is the oldest
Wow.
of the
Wow. That's
divine
fitting.
feminine, the triple goddess. This is like the crone energy. She knows some stuff, and her name, good health equals wealth. This card signifies wealth as well. And this card speaks of your emotion. Oh my God, your name actually is talking about this card, because it's telling you that your emotions is actually connected to the flow of money into your life. And you know that already. There's nothing you can tell good health equals wealth that she doesn't already know, because this is a crone energy. She's carrying the crone energy. So yes, so to answer, you have the answer to your own question, and the answer is yes.
You
And
know what?
watch, wait, and listen. There's a lot of patience that you have to exercise with her.
You
You
know
know
what, Amenet?
that
We
person.
work well together. If I ever come to the UK, we're gonna hook it up, and
Yes,
we're gonna really, really get some venue or something like that. I know a couple of people
yes,
there,
one hundred
and we
percent.
make that happen. We make that
This,
happen because it's
I share.
amazing
Just make it
how
happen.
the cards seem to work with the numbers, and the numbers seem to work with the
Telling you.
cards. Period.
That's my next research. I'm going to Nigeria on Tuesday, and that's going to be my next my
Well,
next
you tell them
assignment.
Ayodele says hi, because
I
that is my
Ayodele,
Nigerian
yeah, I
name.
like that name.
Ayodele. That
Ayodele,
is my
Ayodele.
Nigerian
I
name.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Now, also, I want to thank True Gemini I for the 9.99 donation, and she's born 6/4. Now, we did read another person born 6/4, but I'll say this: you happen to be in an 8 personal year, and it means this is your year to really climb and reach the top of the mountain with high expectations of achievements and recognition, authority, and things of that nature. You also happen to be in a pregnancy cycle too. I love to say that to women because women can't spell pregnancy. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying in a sense that it's also symbolic, like your cards are symbolic too. Amenet, you know? So when I say she's in a pregnancy cycle, she gives birth to an idea, birth to a career path. Because as a 4, she would do well in anything related to computers, technology, radio, television, art, and unusual occupations that normally people may not think about, that where she would shine as a person. And also indicates she's very sensitive. She will attract young and old at the same time too, and especially
I'm telling you,
Aquarians and Leos and Geminis.
telling you, this is the oracle. I'm telling you, True Gemini, you better listen to him. Look at the card that came up for you, the mother. So
Whoa, interesting.
maybe, I don't know if you're going to get pregnant this year, or to answer your question, anything related to children as far as the career path. And you remember he just said, the oracle of our Lord just said, because there's a child behind her. If you look at her, there's a child. This is the mother. This is the mother aspect of the divine feminine. And it's telling you that. And this is a pregnant. Oh my God, this is so accurate to speak into what our Lord just said about the cycle that you're in now. So to answer your specific question, anything related to children, but you have to control your emotions, because you can get you can get, yeah, you can get like the leopard behind her, but you're also the mother. But you have to be able to
Interesting.
control. You have to control your that other
Interesting.
side. So wow, powerful, powerful. Yeah.
So we're going to take two more. This one here is from the Messenger
Messenger
215. They are
215.
born April the 8th. And so
Okay.
that means they are a fire sign with an earth number, passionate and practical, proactive and down to earth, grounded, very determined. 8 people are normally very focused and misunderstood. And to know them is to love them is normally the motto I will tell to them. Very intense, but loyal, faithful, although people swear they don't have no feelings. But 8 people know that's not true, which is why they look to the heavens for
Mhm.
divine justice. So, what say you about this person with the cards?
Iyasa. Oh wow, that's interesting. Iyasa actually came. The major change coming up for the messenger 215. Major, major change. You see that number 9? This is the deity. Oh yeah, this is oh yeah, the deity of storms and wind. You know, she's storm. You know, in the X-Men, remember the old
Oh,
comic
yeah, yeah,
thingy?
yeah,
This is
yeah.
storm. That's where they got that depiction of storm from. So this is storm. This is oh yeah. So major change is coming. Lean into that whirlpool. Don't be afraid of the chaos around you. Don't be afraid. Go in the middle. Is as a matter of fact, run towards the middle of the eye of the storm. And because when you do that on the other side, there will be peace, but major, major upheaval and change for coming up.
All right.
Go ahead.
Now, this person here, Lovely Kisses, tarot, evidently she's in the tarot too. March the 3rd, 89, healing my inner childhood wounds. I guess we all have trauma in our early childhood or whatever the case
Mm-hmm.
is. So, what say you? Well, I say this. She happens to be in a 4 personal year, which is a year, and I call for the number of. I call for the symbol of a 4 as a box. That there are boundaries or limitations or restrictions or things that they have to go along a roadmap. They have to have a blueprint. They just can't do things willy nilly. But the more structured and organized they are, the more better it will be to their advantage. So where 3 is a cycle normally of fun and entertainment and stuff like that, this year she's got to be more serious about how she's handling her business and things like that. And in fact, right now, this particular month, she is in a year where she's making a transition. But August, which is normally not her month, is going to be an exception to the rule. So, what say you
Hmm.
about this person?
I think Lovely Kisses Tarot, change the story that you're telling around that story. Change your vantage point. Change your perception, how you look at the past. Because that information, if you change the way you're looking at what the inner child wounds, you will get information that's going to help you and help others as well. Because this one flew out. This is Orisun again. This is Divine Feminine. This is Oshun. And it's telling you that what you think is a disadvantage is actually an advantage. So those wounds are actually warrior marks. They are the warrior, wounds that you came and shows what you've come through. So those are the sign of victory. So rather than calling them wounds, say I came through the storm and I survived. And these wounds are actually the marks that makes me a warrior, because that's what the card is saying. Eleye, it's like changing your perception, changing the vantage point of how you're looking at things.
Okay, now what I'm going to do is I've kept you longer than I needed to, but I was so
This is
selfish
fun.
and I was having so much fun. Okay, what I'm going to do is make a couple of announcements, and then what I
Yeah.
want you to do is when I come back, you're going to end it, but I want you to spread a card that will relate to everybody that viewed it, whether I was able to get to them or not. I'm sure you'll
Okay.
pick a card that symbolically represents a
Yeah.
general feeling or general
Yeah.
flow about that.
Okay.
Okay, so you
Okay.
sit tight, don't you go nowhere.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
want to let you know that today's show, I've been enjoying this one. She didn't even know. I didn't even know. But today's show has been brought to you by the Sisters of the Traveling Spread. STShealing.com is where you go to sign up to meet us in New Orleans the weekend of August 17th, 18th, and 19th. That is STShealing.com, where you see the queen of, actually, she's hiding the queen, whatever that next step is. But that is Sister Nina Diamond, then her daughter Aquarius Maximus, who will be our guest this coming Monday with the cards. Okay, so this must be a card week or something. And of course, Jazz Aphrodite at the top, and of course, my buddy King Simon to the bottom left of it, and myself, Lloyd Strayhorn. And so, again, I want to let you know that Monday we will have Aquarius Maximus. I checked with her to make sure her schedule was kind of in alignment and everything like that. Hold on one second. Let me see. Okay, hide the comments. There we are. That's for Aquarius Maximus. She is going to be our guest this coming Monday. And I want to let everybody know that my audiobook is available. Uh, Lloyd's Book of Numbers, my bestseller. It's available at a 15% discount. That's the code you use. It's not $826. No, but that is the code you use. All righty. And my Numbers and You podcast. So if you miss shows, and by the way, Amenet is going to be part of the podcast feature this going around the world. So this thing is very interesting how it's taking place. For those of you, my monthly newsletter of July is out. Please sign up for it. Please take advantage. It's absolutely free. Just go to my website, lloyd-strayhorn.com. That's lloyd-strayhorn.com. So for the newbies, that's spelled LLOYD Strayhorn, STRAYHORN. And I want to thank those who are now there's still a little bugs. I now understand. Let me tell you this. You know, I have a lot of apps on my phone. They'll say they fixed this bug, they fixed that bug. I now understand what they're talking about. Some of you may encounter it. Some of you find it very easy. Some of you find it a little rough. But every time I get a feedback, I send it to the developers so they just make it tighter and tighter. But it is available on both Android for the Android users, and it's also available on Apple. And if you want to see any of these shows in a real form, just go to TikTok under Numbers and You. You'll find me there. And I must say a special salute to my good brother, King Simon, who is the absolute best as far as I'm concerned. So that is it. Now let me do this. And now what we want to do, I want to put the emphasis on you. But as I put the emphasis on you, let me put your banner up, and I think I got everything straight this time, okay?
Okay, cool.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I'm going to read from my guidebook. This is a card that I pulled. And people that have information that know about Orisha, this is the depiction that I chose for Obatala. Obatala is the oldest Orisha out of the pantheon. It's very cool, gentle, and Orisha. And he's about wisdom. He rules wisdom and information. From the guidebook, I wanted to read because I haven't done that.
So and the guidebook comes with the deck, right?
It comes with the deck.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying.
So I have a quote, and the fitila means the lamp. Fitila is an old-fashioned lamp. So I said, the quote I used is, don't be afraid. Our fate cannot be taken from us. It is a gift. And that's from Dante's Inferno. And the paragraph says, Obatala gently ignites his old clay lamp, transforming the gloomy chamber into fiery red hue. Warmth and tranquility fills the room, which chases the negativity away. Fitila represents clarity and purification. So, it speaks of Obatala being so powerful to chase away negativity. All he needs to do is just to light his lamp. He's the lamp carrier. He's the owner of the lamp. And the message I have in here says, the truth comes to light. You are a light worker. Fear nothing. So how we are on Brother Lloyd's show, where we are impacting light onto another, because there's another favorite quote that I like to say that I've read somewhere. A candle loses nothing by lighting the next candle. So as we give each other light, we're actually
that's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, because if you have a candle and if you light on another candle, it doesn't take away from that first candle.
Yeah.
Like how Baba Lloyd he's opens his platform to all of us. I'm in England, he's in the US, and he generously opened his platform to me. He's given me that light. So because he's giving me that light, I'm going to give you guys that light. And what the message is saying, we are all light workers. Let's spread the light and fear nothing. Fear nothing, because
Amen.
we're doing the work.
Ashe,
Because we're doing the
Ashe,
work.
amen, whatever you want to say. That is great.
Yes.
Now, by the way, this is my guest, Amenet Olipado, spiritualist, oral deck creator. Her website is www.orishadream.com. No S, orishadream.com. For those of you screenshot it, you get your camera, take it. The contact is IG at the underscore Yami. IYAMI Oracle deck. All right.
Yes.
And then this way you can see some, and in fact, you have many of the images from the cards on your site, on the
I have
IG.
many of the images. Yeah, I have many of the images on the IG
Yeah.
and and I am going to Nigeria on Monday, you guys. So if anybody orders, anyways, I'm always in contact with people. I'm going to Nigeria for like 12 days, so I'll be away, and I'm a one-woman show. So if you order the deck by then, I may not be, but I usually get back to people. I'm very good with getting back to people to let them know what's going on. And someone asked, does it ship from US to UK to the US? Yes, it does. If you go on my website, all the information is there.
Now that's the number they can use, 44
Yeah.
783
I'm always on WhatsApp.
0608222.
Yep.
Now, the Cash App, this is not a dollar sign, it's got a strange symbol.
It's a pound sign. It's a sterling. I don't even know if it
Yes,
works,
I forgot the UK does.
Sometimes it works. Yeah, sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work from the US, but that's fine. Yeah, sometimes it works from the US, and sometimes some people can't send me anything from the
But
US.
they can order these unique decks. I'm telling you, the cards. I mean, I treasure the deck you sent me. Okay.
Thank you.
I mean, I treasure it, and I mean, I think you sent me a beautiful T-shirt. I mean, just
Yeah.
thank you so much. Much love to you
You're
too.
welcome. You're welcome.
Listen, have a safe journey.
Thank
Tell
you.
my Nigerian brothers and sisters, Ayodele says hi. Okay. And you know what I'm saying? Show love from
I
the
will.
west to the
Spread the
east.
light. Spread the
Yeah,
light.
love
We
and
will.
life. And thank you so
Thank you.
much for spending all your valuable time. I mean, we did a marathon. I think you about the longest. You broke records today. I am very proud of you. I'm in
So
that.
much fun. Thank you. No, it's fun. It just time flies. Thank you so much, everyone.
You're welcome, beautiful. You take care. And everybody,
Thank
I want to thank you very, very much. And this is the contact where you can get in touch with Amenet Olapido, excuse me, who's the spiritualist, Oreo deck creator, and whatnot. And please do. And everybody, I want you all to have a very, very blessed and safe weekend. As I explained on Monday, the United States is in a 9 personal year, which is very a stressful number to this nation. And 9 represents guns and arguments and confrontations to the negative. It's one thing if 9 had been friendly to this country, but it is not. It is antagonistic to this country. Therefore, it would create antagonistic situations such as conflicts, wars, guns, knives, sharp instruments, accidents, fender benders, all kinds of stuff. So what I'm saying is be careful. It is not about being paranoid as so much as about being aware of the conditions of the country we live in here. If you was in Paris, that's July 15th. That's their birthday. They got a whole different energy. Okay. Or any other country you go to, whether it's China or India, they got their own energy. But for those who are here in the West, this is a year that's going to tug at people. So avoid anybody that want to fuss fight. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And you take good care of yourself. So everybody have a blessed day. Much love to you. And as I said, if you don't take care of yourself, the bottom line, as you know, my attitude is who will. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Y'all have a blessed day and y'all take care. Until then.